Hi everyone, my name is Zach, and in this video I show you how to use vertex painting inside your materials. Vertex painting is a little bit like painting textures, but in actual fact we are just coloring the vertices of our object. And since our dynamic topology objects has a lot of vertices, this looks a little bit like we would paint textures onto our object. And this we will use, for example, to create these black and white masks we can use for mixing different things inside our material. And the cool thing about that is that we don't need a UV map and we don't need an image to paint on. This happens directly on the model. Alright, without further words, let's get started. For this I not use the current official version of Blender 2.79, I use the latest build which you can download on blender.org. There you can try out the latest features, and the cool thing in this version is that the vertex paint mode was updated and now it feels much more smoother to use the vertex paint mode. So let's press Shift Space to full screen the 3D viewport here, and now let's switch to vertex paint mode. And as you can see, this cat already has a vertex paint. Let's quickly remove this. And now we have in the tool shelf our brush settings here, and let's just take a black color. Our whole cat is white here, and now you can see we can paint on the surface. But in actual fact, we are only painting on the vertices. You can see here I have one vertex, and if I paint on this, you can see it will only color the vertex and make a smooth transition to the next vertex. But since our resolution is so high, it looks as if we are painting on the surface like we have a texture here. So, and in earlier versions, also the standard 2.79 version, the vertex paint mode is nearly unusable because the brush behaves very strange and it is super slow on high resolution objects, and it creates a lot of artifacts if we are painting from far away. But as you can see now, this is super smooth. And also if I paint over areas like this, older Blender versions would create a hard edge here if I paint over edges here. But as you can see now, this is working super smooth. And what I'm right now doing is just painting a black and white mask. So for example, if I paint this area up here, certainly you can also change the brush or the curve if you want to have a harder brush here. Something like this. So just a stupid example here. So now let's add a mask to the cat. Something like this. And the vertex painting will be stored in the object data panel if you have the object selected down here under vertex color. And the cool thing is we can add multiple vertex colors, like multiple masks or maps. Certainly you also can paint with colors here, not only with black and white, but I want to use this as mask. So if you want to create a new one, just hit the plus button. Then let's pick the white color here, and then down here under paint you can click on set vertex color or press Shift K to set the white color as vertex color. So if I use blue, Shift K, then everything will be colored in just one color, as you can see. So, and then I could create others. I also can rename this, like nose, for example, and now I want to paint on the nose here. So, now let's get back to the node editor and see how we can use this vertex colors. For this, we need under input an attribute node. If you have the Node Wrangler add-on enabled, you can also find this up here under vertex colors. But yeah, if you have this not enabled, add this attribute node and type in the name of the thing. So let's simply copy this with Ctrl C and here Ctrl V. So let's just use this as roughness input, for example. That means, as you can see now, since this is a black and white texture basically, all the black areas will be glossy 100% because then the roughness value is 0 and all the other stuff will be 100% rough. And as you can see now we have this masked area. And this you can use for so many things. If you, for example, just want to add a third color here, let's use this as mix factor, plug this in and change the color here. So maybe let's switch this. Yeah, I mean, something like this looks already interesting. Yeah. And also if we want to have the second vertex color, just type in nose, for example, and then you can simply use this for whatever you want. So in this way you can create as many maps as you like and use them to create different things on the surface. The only thing you have to consider is that now if we are copying this material to other objects, and if the other objects have no vertex color with the same name, then certainly this attribute node will be ignored. And as you can see here, now the other objects just have the other color. But yeah, if you have a few objects with vertex color, then certainly use this in this way. But up here, for example, we don't have a vertex color, so let's copy this material by pressing on the number or on the plus button here. And then we can basically remove this stuff, and you can see now up there we have this other material. Alright guys, that's it with this video, and I hope now you have a good understanding on how to use vertex painting for your materials.